Live, here we are from the studio in the Love Building. This is FSU Weather, your Friday edition, and we are getting ready to start it off right now. It is September 30th, 2016, and Shane Pendleton, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, Matt. It's great to be here back in the FSU Weather studio once again.
Yeah, we've got a great show for you. By the way, I'm Matt Reagan, but as well, if anybody wants to know.
Yes.
We've got a great show for you covering all kinds of different things, including Hurricane Matthew.
Yes, it must be an honor to have a hurricane named after yourself, and there'll be more to do about that during the Tropics segment, so stay tuned for that, of course.
Absolutely, but the big talk of the town, at least here locally, is the cooler and drier weather.
I know, when I got back into town today, I thought I'd driven to the wrong state because it was not so humid out there today.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice out there. It made it feel so much better, almost like fall. Fall is here.
Yes, it's officially been here for a week now, and in the afternoon you wouldn't know it. It's still so warm out there, but it's getting a smidge drier.
Yeah, for now, though, we're going to take it on out to the wall to see what's going on in our local conditions.
Yes, Matt and Shane, it has been very dry out there, and we have seen cooled off temperatures that fall rolls in. We have 83 in Tallahassee, 81 in Quincy, in the low 80s throughout the whole day. It has been great outside with the dew point. Now, the closer the temperature is to dew point, the more chance of rain formation, which we have not seen with the dew point at a low 48 in Tallahassee, 55 in Monticello, and 52 in Quincy. But as I roll on into the satellite and radar, as we see that there's a stationary front to the south of Tallahassee, and as that high pressure sits off into the Atlantic, we have seen no clouds over in Tallahassee. It has been gorgeous weather, as we love Florida. Yes, we do, and the weather. But now as we go into the headlines, we have another cool night. Gorgeous day for game day starting Monday. But now we're going to switch on over to Margaret and Shane.
Thanks, Colleen. This desk, we're going to talk about something, I don't know if we've ever talked about it on here, and that's how hurricanes are named in different parts of the world.
Excellent, because with Hurricane Matthew going on, we want to know about the storms that are going on around the world and how they get the unusual names that they do.
Yeah, that hurricanes that affect North America, so hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean and hurricanes in the west or the Eastern Pacific Ocean that affect the west coast of the United States, those storms are all called hurricanes. Right. But then when you go to other basins, you get other storm names. That's
right. For the western North Pacific, for instance, these are the oceans around China and Japan. Those hurricanes, the same type of storm, they're known as typhoons.
And then when you get into the Indian Ocean or into storms in the South Indian and Pacific Ocean that affect Australia or India, those storms are just called cyclones.
Yes, yep. And that makes sense because cyclone is the official scientific term for all such tropical storms. And now we're going to throw it out to Tevin at the wall.
All right, Margaret and Shane, thank you very much. If there was ever any doubt as to where fall was, well, it came a little bit about a week late, but better late than never. The cold front came through around midday yesterday, and it brought some fantastic temperatures behind it. You're taking a look at a time lapse right now from the Pensacola Skycam right off facing the west towards Doak Campbell Stadium. You can see that there, and that place is going to be rocking on your Saturday as we take on the North Carolina Tar Heels right around 3:30 tomorrow. The high temperature today was at about 83 degrees. But the high temperature yesterday right at about 91 degrees, all thanks to that cold front bringing some cooler temperatures. And if you like that today, I think you'll like tomorrow as well. It is a carbon copy of today's forecast. Here is a look at current conditions right now in Tallahassee. 83 degrees right now, clear skies, dew points at about 48 degrees. A humidity level, I'm not even going to mention it because it's so low, we don't have to worry about it. Winds are coming from about the west-northwest though, at about 9 miles an hour. Current temperatures right now else throughout the area, 83 in Tallahassee and St. Mark's, 80 down for Carabel, and 84 in Liberty County near Wilma, and 79. They're in the 70s right now in Quincy. That's a cool spot for right now. Local radar, not much to talk about because of that low pressure or the cold front that came through around midday yesterday. If you were outside really late last night, like myself, you probably noticed the wind started to pick up, and it was really cool. And this morning, even cooler. And you talk about some sunshine. We saw it earlier today. We're still seeing it today, and we'll see most of the sunshine tomorrow as well. Winds are coming out of the south for St. Mark's at about 5 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour in Monticello, and 3 in Thomasville. The relative humidity levels right now, 39 in Monticello and St. Mark's, and 30 for Tallahassee, and 39 in Quincy. Current dew points right now, 52 degrees for Quincy and 54 for Bainbridge, 60 for Carabel, so there's just a little bit higher than everyone else. Once you get to about 65, that's the air you can wear, and you really start to feel that stickiness impact you as you walk out of the door. Tonight's forecast, 59 in Tallahassee, and another cool night is in store for us. We're down into the 50s, maybe even a little bit less than that at about 58, 57 degrees. Don't quite pinpoint that just yet because we don't have any cloud coverage, so we're going to seep down in our temperatures. But tomorrow, even better, 87 degrees and a beautiful day tomorrow. Low humidity levels, winds coming from the northeast at about 5 miles an hour, making way for a fantastic game day. Gold Notes, if you like today's forecast and tomorrow's forecast, it's a carbon copy throughout the week, but you'll notice the rain chances. That's right, that front that moved through starts to recede just a little bit, bringing more rain chances with it, but also cooler temperatures as well. So if you've liked it, I think you'll like tomorrow. Get out and enjoy that beautiful weather, you guys, and I'm going to send it back to Jordan at the desk. Oh, he's right here.
Thanks so much. Today we're going to look around the southeast and see the effects of this cold front as it moved through our region last night. Current temperatures in Tallahassee, 83 degrees. The farther north you go, the more that cool front actually cooled them off. 78 in Montgomery, Alabama, and 74 in the capital of Georgia. Tupelo sitting about 75 as well. So those current temperatures are going to be dipping down as we go later into tonight. Current relative humidity, you can see exactly that line where the stationary front is sitting. You can see it is very dry throughout much of the southeast, 30% humidity in Tallahassee, 36 in Savannah. But as you head farther south, farther into southern Florida, 74% in Orlando and 85 down in Key West. You can see as it moves along. Current wind speeds, we do have a nice cool breeze today associated with those wonderful temperatures. Coming 9 miles per hour out of Tallahassee, 9 out of Savannah, and even 7 out of Orlando. So those wind speeds are very nice and calm. Current radar right now, not much to speak of throughout the southeast. And we do have a couple of showers that's not popping up right now on our radar because we are having some technical difficulties. But when that does rain, it does have a couple of showers. There you go. You can see in southern Florida, but much of the southeast, nice and clear. Here, I'll take a zoomed in look. You see a couple of those showers associated with that stationary front, and those will continue on for the next couple of days, at least for them. Here's the water vapor imagery. That orange represents dry air, and the green represents the moist air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And you can see right where that stationary front is, that boundary line of that wonderful dry air, so you don't have that icky, sticky factor that we've been experiencing for a couple of days. Futurecast radar, as that stationary front does start to fizzle out, the rain chances will start to head farther south and increase slightly as we go later into the week. Let's go ahead and move on into your Parents' Weekend game day. Nice and clear over Tallahassee's radar and for much of the southeast as well. So looking to be a gorgeous week, especially for Parents' Weekend. Tonight's forecast, we're looking nice cool temperatures, possibly 54 degrees in Tallahassee and pretty much the same for the most of the southeast. 54 Atlanta, 53 in Montgomery. The only spots that aren't being very cool are going to be South Florida, 77 in Miami, and 81 degrees tonight for Key West. Tomorrow, you can see right where that cold front was, nice clear skies, sunshine everywhere in Tallahassee, Savannah, Wilmington, all sticking in the high 80s. But as we go into tomorrow, starting to look nice and clear, especially for Parents' Weekend. But let's go ahead and send it back to the desk with a special interview with Bryan Norcross.
Thanks a lot, Jordan. Yes, I'm sitting here with Bryan Norcross, Senior Hurricane Specialist at the Weather Channel, a position he's filled since 2010. His claim to fame, of course, covering Hurricane Andrew, a marathon coverage back when it affected South Florida in 1992. It's a pleasure to have you with us here.
Pleasure to be here, Jake.
So with everything going on in the tropics right now, we just wanted to start off with something related to Hurricane Matthew, and namely, what role does the National Hurricane Center and American forecasting in general have on the preparedness and response of other countries when a tropical cyclone impacts their area?
Well, the Hurricane Center is the main center for this region, Region 4 of the World Meteorological Organization. But in the Caribbean, there are many meteorological offices in various countries. Cuba, for example, has a very advanced meteorological center there in Havana. But in the other islands, they also have centers where they put out their own watches and warnings, but they coordinate with the National Hurricane Centers based on the forecast. So if the Hurricane Center is indicating that tropical storm force winds might affect Haiti, for example, then a watch is put up, but it's actually put up by the center responsible for that island, not actually put up by the National Hurricane Center.
Thank you very much. And of course, with everything that happened here with Hurricane Hermine last month, we're getting on the month anniversary of its landfall, of course, in the Big Bend.
Crazy, yeah?
One of the big things with hurricane forecasting is model uncertainty. Hermine was a really big example of that, with how often the models would kind of skew both the intensity and the track of storms, especially past, say, 4 or 5 days' time. So what we here as forecasters want to know is how can we convey that we have uncertainty to forecast without making it sound like we're just guessing?
Well, so this is what's happened in the modern world. It's actually harder to convey uncertainty today than it was back Hurricane Andrew time, for example. And that's because we have all these models and people that put out and say, I think the hurricane is going to be in a certain place. You know, it's going to go 20 miles east of Tallahassee 3 days from now, right? And you can actually get a map and you can put it on there, and people do that, and sometimes the model does that, right? Where back in the old days, nobody expected that we could be that precise, so we weren't that precise. So when we would say that this is the area that needs to be concerned, the odds are about the same from Quincy to Lake City of the worst of the storm 3 days from now or 4 days from now or sometime in the future, people go, oh, that's pretty good. Now if you say something like that, they go, well, what does the model say? Tell me what the model says. And the Euro says this and the GFS says that. And it actually clogs up the conversation because you have all this false precision that is out in the conversation. Where if we could get back to this is the area where the odds are that there is a threat, that people need to be ready for, take action to prepare, then we would have better communications. But with all that stuff out there, it's tough. And so as communicators, what we have to do is to try and cut through that and be certain about the uncertainty. This is what we don't know, but we are sure that this area is threatened.
Absolutely. And one last question that we wanted to throw your way here was, what do you think is the biggest challenge trying to communicate dangerous weather events to a public that is either sometimes not aware of the technicalities of the matter or just aware of the general threat?
So the biggest challenge, I think, in 2016 is the phone. Is that more and more people get their information directly from the phone and directly from a few icons. Where back before all that started, they actually had to turn into people like you and me and the rest of the students here that want to be in weather, right? And they actually got an explanation. Now on the phone, they don't get the explanation.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Norcross. Again, it was a pleasure having you here with
Jake.
us. We're going to send it back out to the wall now where Ayesha is standing by with a national look.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bryan Norcross, for attending our FSU Weather Show. So right now, we're going to take it to the national look here. Phoenix, the hot spot, 95 degrees for them. But Tallahassee, we're sitting pretty low at 83, so it's nice temperatures for us. We're tired of the heat, so we're ready for fall to come for us. Different right now, 44 in Denver and 50 in Albuquerque. So that's showing you how much moisture is in the air. It's not oppressive anywhere at all. It's pretty dry for the most part in San Francisco at 47. Pretty low down there, but we're sitting well right now. Current relative humidity, 38 in Atlanta, so it's pretty dry because that's related to how much moisture is in the air over what can hold. So 97 in Detroit due to that upper level low there. So that doesn't mean it's raining, but it does mean conditions are favorable for rain. So the higher the relative humidity, the hotter we feel it really much. The orange indicated here, that's all the dry air, and you can see that low spinning up there near Illinois, upper level low, and that green indicating all that moisture. So that's bringing a lot of flooding to Delaware, parts of Maryland and Delaware. So let's take a look on our satellite and radar. You can still see some clouds associated with that upper level low. And if you look to the left here, you can see those clouds are coming into Washington and Delaware. So we're having a lot of storms there. You can see not much, the storms aren't that strong in this area near the upper level low, but if you go down and take a look near Long Island, my hometown, for the most part, you can see that they're getting showers and showers constantly, and they're having gale warnings at this time right now. So they're seeing 1 to 2 feet for extra waves for them, and that's a flood advisory going on until Saturday night. So
if you are traveling out of town and you're traveling for Parents Weekend, be sure to know that that's happening right now. So all that pink in the area, California, those are red flag warnings. That's indicating high humidity levels there. For the most part, it's pretty much dry there. So that just means that take precaution if you do go outside, because it's high winds and, well, strong winds and high humidity. So that's associated with that. The green associated with flood warnings as well. So that's due to that upper level low. So you can see in Phoenix, they had a hotter day. Our temperature change +4. Atlanta -2 because they had that cold front come through, and that brought us the drier air there and the colder air. So airport delays. LaGuardia not looking too well. 146. Might as well just take another flight, maybe fly out of Philly for the most part. So let's look at our tomorrow's forecast for you. You can see 88 in Tallahassee for the most part. Beautiful conditions for us, and I'm going to send it to Lexi on over for a local.
All right, thank you, Ayesha. It looks like the country's finally seeing some fall weather as well, but currently right now in Tallahassee, 83 degrees, clear skies. Look at that humidity, only at 30%. Now that's feeling very, very nice with a nice wind as well, coming out of the west at 9 miles per hour. So we are finally taking a break from all that heat and stickiness that we have been feeling in the last couple of weeks. Here's the temperature change in the past 20 hours. As the morning came around, we started to see some 70s, and as we went into the early mornings, 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., we had some low 60s, so that felt very nice this morning. And as the temperatures came up towards today's temperatures, bigger change from 80s and the 90s, so it's feeling very nice out there. So currently right now, 83 degrees in Tallahassee as well as St. Mark's, no 90s across the board. So we are finally seeing some fall weather, and we're super excited about that 82 in Perry. Looks like Quincy is the lowest on the map at 79, so we're definitely enjoying that weather as well. So here is our dew point level. Now we're used to seeing dew points up between 70 and 79 degrees, feeling very oppressive, very uncomfortable, but look at this. We are finally in pleasant dew point temperatures, 48 in Tallahassee, 55 in St. Mark's, a little bit higher down in Carabel. They are by the coast, so they are seeing more moisture, especially with the sea breeze as well. But our satellite radar looking very beautiful, nothing in sight across the southeast. But unfortunately, Orlando and Miami are seeing some storms out there. That's because the front that came through is stalling out just a little bit. So they're just seeing all those rain. They're not getting our lovely weather that we are seeing right here. So if you don't have any plans to go to the game tomorrow, it's a beautiful day for the boat. Winds coming out of the north at 10 to 15 knots, only 1 foot of chop, clear skies. So a beautiful day to go out in the boat if you want to go and enjoy yourselves. But for tonight, 59 degrees in Tallahassee, another cool night. It's great for stargazing and little calm wind in between. So if you do have plans for tonight, go out and enjoy yourselves. Maybe bring a light jacket, but come tomorrow, 87 degrees, a beautiful day, especially with that football game tomorrow against North Carolina. Low humidity once again, a nice breeze northeast at 5 miles per hour. So really looking forward to having a pleasant football day. So starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to see 59 degrees, a nice sweater weather, clear skies, and another beautiful day as the day rolls along. Don't forget to wear your garnet and gold. Once again, you want to go out and support your nose. So here's our week ahead. Saturday, again, looking very beautiful at 87 degrees. But come Sunday, we start to see a little increase in the rain chances at 20%, but that won't really affect us until the afternoon. But again, as I step off here, those rain chances increase starting Monday into Tuesday with highs in the upper 80s. But let's go ahead and send it over to the desk with Tevin and Colby.
All right, thanks, Lexi. I guess I'll have to brush off the old sweater there. The sweater weather is here. It's a great weekend to get out and do some stuff. Colby, what do you plan on doing this weekend?
Well, I hear there's a big football game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. A big football game, Parents Weekend, and the North Carolina Tar Heels are coming to town, and over there at Doak Campbell Stadium, it's going to be beautiful. Temperatures in the mid-80s, light variable wind, 5-10 miles per hour, so it should be a good game day.
A good game day, a good matchup, too. North Carolina's 3-1. FSU, we're 3-1 as well. Who do you got?
You know, I'm going to take Florida State in this one. Even non-biased, I'll take them by 17. Definitely got to take the Seminoles. It's going to be a shootout. Two very high-powered offenses.
A lot of points on the board for both teams throughout the season. Now, if the defense can step up, then we might be looking at a lower-scoring game. So,
absolutely.
One thing's for sure, though. I don't think the team will be sweating much.
No. I tell you what, these humidity values, this is nice. This is a treat. The cold front was a treat.
Cold front certainly a treat. If you don't go to the football game tomorrow, enjoy yourself this weekend. It is fantastic. I mean, I can't stress that enough.
Absolutely. And remember that sunscreen, definitely.
Yeah, all right. So we're going to take a look at the tropics now with Matt Reagan. He is tracking Hurricane Matt.
Thank you very much, guys. We are tracking Matthew, but first off, we wanted to jump into our local conditions first, see what's going on across Florida right now, because Florida is really where these conditions from Matthew can be expected, at least possibly expected. We'll get into that in just a moment here. Right now, current conditions across the Sunshine State, though, it's sunshine most of the places, except for much of South Florida. That's where we're seeing some of the rain showers right now. Here in Tallahassee, though, 83 degrees and clear. Heat index, we want to show you that one more time. This is what it's feeling like out there. Really not much of a heat index affecting us here in Tallahassee at all, still 81 degrees. Fort Myers, though, 94. As we get down the coast a little bit more, the hotter it feels outside as the soupier the air does feel out there. Now, water vapor imagery. This is where we're kind of seeing the divide between that dry air here in the orange and the green here, and that is the moist air. I guess you got the memo that fall is here because, look, orange is ushering into Tallahassee right now. All dry in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. It's really feeling like that here at the surface as well, where we are seeing those lower humidity values. Now, tonight's forecast real quick before we jump into the tropics. 54 here in Tallahassee, and then 70s down the rest of the coast. Pensacola, 61 as well. So a cool night is what it's feeling like here. Tomorrow, another warm day, but a gorgeous day nonetheless. So we hope to see you at the weathercasting workshop and maybe the AMS tailgate. If you're heading on out to the football game as well, got to get the quick plug in there. But now, let's turn our attention real fast over to Matthew. We are tracking Hurricane Matthew on our tropical update. This is where we're at, and it's actually just changed over to a Category 4 hurricane. This is a major Category 4 hurricane, and this time of the year, we're getting into October, this is where we can see those systems go. They start to track up and out of the Caribbean Sea and usually start to bend more towards the north and east. But what is going on with Matthew? Well, here's the latest hurricane forecast from the National Hurricane Center. A lot of uncertainty with this cone, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're looking at. A major hurricane right now, just in the north of parts of South America, even some tropical storm warnings up for South America. This is very low in the Caribbean, a low latitude here. Something we don't normally see this time of year. As this starts to bend upwards, we are pretty confident about this track that it will make a turn to the north. Now, beyond this, Cuba, Jamaica, parts of Haiti, they need to be watching this one carefully, as well as the Bahamas. This could be a bit of a headache for you, a big headache later on in the long term. Now we're checking in about Monday. So this is going to be a slow mover over the weekend, and then over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be watching this one very closely. But for now, we're going to send this one back on over to Ayesha and Tevin at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Great look at the tropics. So we're going to take it on over to what I was talking about in my national. We saw some flooding in Maryland.
That's right. Due to a retrograding low, it's just sticking around and being kind of stubborn there. You see the photo on your screen. That is a boat dock brought to you by one of our student meteorologist parents in the area of St. Mary's County, Maryland. Ayesha, that area is experiencing some heavy flooding right now, some coastal flooding, in fact.
Yeah, and that won't go away until Saturday midnight. Those flood advisories will move out the way, and a high-pressure system will dominate the area on Sunday, so they'll get a break from the rain.
Can you believe it? 2 feet in some spots of flooding.
That is ridiculous. I couldn't even imagine standing in 2 feet.
Right.
It's just astonishing.
So,
like, it's too much water.
Enough to move people and enough to even start to budge a car, a smaller car especially.
So what do we always say? Turn around, don't drown.
It's very important.
So, yeah.
Applies there, but it applies here too. You know, they're not the only people that's susceptible to flooding, especially when you get a lot of rain in a small amount of time.
Right.
That's why it's called flash flooding, folks.
Mm-hmm. And make sure you know the procedures and what to take. Make sure you have emergency kits if you know flooding is on the way. Things of that nature. It's always good to just have it. Better to be prepared than scared.
Better to be prepared than scared. I like that. I'll have to use that one. I'll have to write that one down in my notebook.
Okay, but right now we are going to take it to another look with Tyler at a local.
Thank you, Ayesha. You don't need a meteorologist to tell you it's very comfortable outside. In fact, I'd say it's Meteorologist Appreciation Day because right now it's 83 degrees in the city of Tallahassee with a dew point of 48, which is probably the lowest reading we've had since April. We don't really get cold fronts in the summer. That yields a humidity value of 30% in the city of Tallahassee. And we had that offshore wind bringing the drier continental air at about 10 miles an hour. Currently across the Big Bend, temperatures are held down due to the presence of that drier, more northerly air. Temperatures are generally in the upper 70s in Quincy and low 80s across much of the rest of the area, except for right around 80 along the coastline due to the influence of the water, although it's not that noticeable today because the Gulf of Mexico is still in the 80s. Current dew point also shows a departure in about 25 degrees of the dew point. That's why it feels so much nicer outside than it did yesterday before the cold front passed around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. These dew points will not last that long though, and they rarely do. As we start October, you can expect more moisture to come in about 48 hours in appreciable form, and the humidity values really reiterate how dry it is. It's a little bit more moist at the coast because they are further south and they do have the marine influence. Across the rest of the area, it's really in the 70s across most of the tri-state region, north and west of Tallahassee. Although I want to point out that the cold front really did not make it that far south. On the I-4 corridor down there in Orlando, it is actually thundering right now and in the 80s. Satellite and radar really shows a pretty dry air mass across the area, and therefore clouds are not going to be expected in the major form tonight. But going in the next 48 hours, we will likely see a return in moisture, especially on Sunday, which could, we could see a couple more clouds and even some showers, especially because the stationary front will actually lift back north of I-4 towards the I-10 region, and as that does so, we'll likely see a couple of showers on Sunday. However, the rain chance is 20%, so I would not cancel the plans. On the sand tomorrow, if the football game isn't your forte, north winds 5 to 10 knots. The water temperature is very warm for this time of year, still in the middle 80s. And the UV index, even though it's going to be cooler, you're going to still have to wear sunscreen. It's very high. Tonight, temperatures will drop into the 50s, and tomorrow we will rise a little bit warmer than today in the middle 80s. For the 7-day forecast, a return to more normal summertime and fall-like pattern continues with temperatures in the upper 80s, lows in the 60s to right around 70. Now let's send it back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Tyler, for that. We really appreciate it. The weather looks great this weekend, and I know that we can't quite get the forecast 2 weeks from now, but we can forecast a lot of school spirit.
Yeah, definitely with that game coming up. I'm excited. We also have homecoming coming up. That's October 13th. Near then, we're going to have powwow, and we're going to have a concert. Chance the Rapper's coming. Everybody's coming.
I don't even know who that is, but it's a great week to really get out and enjoy the Garnet and Gold.
But it's going to be free.
It's going to be free. Okay,
yeah,
all right, I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Free things
and
we like it.
also, the game is free. So if you have tickets, it's going to be 87 degrees, and it's going to be beautiful outside.
Now that's this weekend. 87 and beautiful. A lot of great weather on Sunday as well, too. So
Sunday, we're seeing those scattered showers, afternoon showers, 20%. But you can always like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter /FSU Weather, and watch us again and again on livestream.com/FSU Weather. We also have an Instagram, so show us some love on there as well.
yeah, thanks so much for joining us. As you can tell, it's been a really nice start to fall. So get out, enjoy the weather, do some great things this weekend. Stay out of trouble, enjoy the weather. I can't say that enough.
All right,
It's
I'm
just
student
crisp and
meteorologist
cool.
Ayesha Wilkinson.
And I'm student meteorologist Tevin Wooten. Have a great weekend.
Go Noles.